Hey there, have you ever wondered why you're always feeling worn out, run down, moody, or even why you have the foggiest of brain for no reason? Well, I'll tell you, it's likely your gut. That's right, your gut health is the center of focus this month. And today is designed to give you all the fundamentals of what makes for a healthy gut and how it can affect your hormones. In the next few minutes, I'm going to run down what your gut is saying to your hormones and how that can affect how you feel. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Phyllis Thompson, your favorite hormone hacking coach for weight loss. In every single one of my videos, you'll walk away with at least one tip that you can implement right away to start shrinking that waist, feeling better, and aging for longevity. Now, let's dive in. Let's get you on the path of a flourishing gut and healthy hormones, shall we? Now, over the last couple of weeks, I've introduced you to terms like gut flora and gut microbiota. But all that means is the bacterial population in your gut, and particularly, y'all know I can't talk, particularly your intestines, where the majority of your immune system lives. Did you know that your gut flora also helps regulate your estrogen levels? Crazy, right? The health of your gut has far reaching effects. It affects every aspect of your overall health. Your gut microbiota primarily determines your gut health. So, what are some signs that your gut may be imbalanced? Well, let's run that list down for you. There's acne, belching, bloating and digestive upset, constipation or IBS, or more commonly known as irritable bowel syndrome, gas, gut infections, headaches, heavy, light, or irregular periods, hot flashes, low libido, mood swings, PCOS, SIBO, tender, swollen, or fibrocystic breasts, and weight gain. Sheesh, right? Last week, I also introduced you to another term that you may have already heard of called leaky gut. Remember, that is referred to a condition where the intestines are chronically irritated and becomes compromised, meaning that the areas that are meant to be open so that nutrients can get through become larger, letting other things through, like large molecules of food, toxins. They start to pass through to the intestinal wall and into the bloodstream because there's no protective mucus layer there anymore to stop them. This typically happens when with a lot of autoimmune conditions. So what happens there is your immune system will launch a full-fledged attack because all these things have gotten in that weren't invited, right? Like that party where that girl got in and you know you didn't send her an invitation. That's my corny joke. So what happens is when all this is going on, it makes it harder for the liver to function because your body is in a full-fledged attack, right? It's attacking everything and sometimes your own cells. So that's part of what's happening with autoimmune people. But it also makes it makes it harder for the liver to do its job. So we know we need to keep the liver happy because the liver metabolizes extra estrogen. Now, extra estrogen can come from things like environmental toxins or that sketchy conventionally raised cattle that's laden with hormones, and that presents in our bodies as mood swings and belly fat, among other things. But those are the most common that women complain about, right? As a result, you feel constantly tired, bloated, achy, and unable to think clearly. This can also lead to a shift in the gut bacteria, which is called gut dysbiosis. It has far reaching effects where it damages the health of your gut and even affects the microbiota of other regions of the body, like the vagina. You didn't see that one coming, did you? But that's what happens when your gut microbiota is unbalanced. It can affect other areas, leading to things such as yeast infections or even infertility. So chronic yeast infections, if that's something that you deal with and you're always like, why am I always getting a yeast infection? That is a sign of an imbalanced gut. And it's also a sign that you possibly have yeast overgrowth. But we'll talk about that in another live. But don't worry, you're pretty little head about it. You know, I've got you covered with some natural diet and lifestyle changes that you can make to improve your gut health. You can take pre and probiotics. If you saw my post yesterday about my husband, I've completely overhauled sort of the way we live, the way he lives, his supplements and things like that. And one of the things I got him were turkey tail mushrooms. These mushrooms fight cancers via improving his gut microbiome. And they're prebiotics. Prebiotics strengthen the good bacteria in your gut. And I'll put some prebiotics and probiotics in my stories for you guys to take a look at and see what falls in line with what you want to accomplish. Or you can take digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes help you break down the foods you eat so you can absorb the nutrients because an imbalanced gut can compromise your own digestive enzymes that your body makes, making it harder for you to absorb the nutrients that you're consuming. The next thing you want to work on is reestablishing a healthy number of bacteria in your gut. So you can do things like eating fermented foods or a healthy diet, consuming healthy nutrient-rich foods, right? Limiting processed sugar. People don't realize just how toxic sugar is, and consuming pre and probiotics. I'm not going to get too long-winded about processed sugar, as it's one of my biggest pet peeves. Is I understand it's very addictive, because I used to be addicted to it too. And sometimes if I have too much sugar, I have to go through a process with myself, and I do it over a weekend. I've shared that those tips before, and I share them with my clients often, that I'll go on like a weekend sugar detox. And it's not what it sounds like. I'm actually eating food, but I'm doing specific things to help me break up with sugar, because sugar is addictive and it's so toxic. So I'm going to try to get off that soapbox, because I can go on and on about sugar. But anyway, so the process of healing your intestinal microbiome, you can do that with foods like asparagus, chicory root, dark chocolate, endive. Endive is actually a lettuce. You can get it on the wet wall at most produce in the produce department, and it's really good. Actually, they look like little boats, and you can put like chicken salad on it, and they're very crispy, and I love them. You can eat garlic, jicama, kimchi, kombucha. That list is much longer, but I'm going to stop there because I don't want to overwhelm you. You should also work on repairing the lining of your gut. There are lots of anti-inflammatory foods and gut healing foods that you can eat, like ginger, hemp seeds, chia seeds, and flax seeds, organic produce, turmeric, and fermented foods. And the gut healing foods are stuff like bone broth. You've heard me talk about bone broth often, because it's one of the most natural ways to heal your gut lining. And on Sundays, I'll drink bone broth with some coconut oil in it, because the coconut oil boosts your thyroid function, and the bone broth will heal your gut lining. So I'm doing like a double effect there, right? Clean fats, clean oils, eggs, get pasture raised eggs. I've been checking the grocery stores, right? So you can get Simply Truth has a pasture raised egg that costs the same as regular eggs. So if you're going to pay $4.50 for eggs, get the better eggs. Quality matters, I'm telling you. You want to eat stuff like wild caught fish and seafood. Farm raised seafood. I'm getting ready to get on a soapbox. I'm so sorry. These are the things that make my lives longer. Farm raised are fed things that are not conducive to a healthy hormone balance and gut microbiome. Some places say they have better farming practices, but just go for wild caught. Okay. I shop at Sprouts the majority of the time. They always have a wild caught fish or wild caught shrimp on sale. Just make that a priority, right? And if you're going to pay $8 a pound for shrimp, get the wild caught, not the farm raised, because they're on sale. The majority of the time, wild caught shrimp are on sale at Sprouts. Jumping off that soapbox. Sorry. Other gut healing supplements are like fish oil capsules. Make sure you read the labels. They put soybean oil in some of them. Less expensive is not the better option always. And L-glutamine for gut healing. You also want to ditch gut disruptors like antibiotics. I am in no way saying don't take your doctor's prescriptions. I'm saying, if possible, discuss a more natural option. The majority of the time, there is a more natural option. And antibiotics will kill off good and bad bacteria. And the bad bacteria is pretty resilient. You've heard me say this before. It's pretty resilient, and it will overgrow. And that's what's at the root of SIBO. And that's for another live. And chlorinated drinking water. I went on a little bit of a rant about drinking water yesterday in my post. Chlorine and fluoride are added to our drinking water. The fluoride that's added to our drinking water is not the fluoride that was intended to be. It is a byproduct of the production of aluminum. Okay, toxic. Chlorine in your drinking water, toxic. Get you a zero water filter. I'm going to leave that there, because y'all know I get passionate about some of these topics. These are just some of the recommendations. As you can tell, this is a huge topic, a huge list, and a lot of things to make changes to, which don't be overwhelmed. You can do it one step at a time. It can be a lot, and there's so much more to this. That's why my program has an entire module dedicated to gut health and gut balance, so that my clients understand, so that they can take further steps, right? But we take it even a step further, and we put all of this already in place in their program, so they don't have to think about it. The nutrition plan is designed so they don't have to think about this, right? Their supplement protocol is designed so they don't have to think about it, right? And they get the printed handouts so that after they're done with the program, they have the information to refer to, so that down the line, if something's amiss or something's not feeling right, they can check their list and check the list twice and make sure that they're on track. But for you, we've put together a simple gut restoration plan, right? Complete with the 4 weeks of meal plans, the grocery list, the delicious recipes, the yes, no food list, the approved snack list, and the symptom checklist. So you don't have to think about it. If you're like, I need this in my life, simply drop us a line below and we'll get that over to you in Messenger. Okay, so next week, join me as we wrap up Gut Health Month. Until next time, ciao.